The ambition in East Ayrshire is to do the right thing by our children, to make sure we look at that holistic approach, address inequalities, and actually give our children the best opportunity that they can to be the best that they can be. There was a decision made that to begin to take some of this work forward, we'd complete a review of children's leadership across services that support children and young people in East Ayrshire. And I think one of the learnings as part of the review from consulting with parents and children is that we never close the loop. So we consult really well and we ask questions, but actually we never get back to the so what difference is it going to make and what are we going to do?
I think it's vital that the council engage actively with parents. When the initial work was carried out, it was a challenging time for us. Before COVID, we were really quite fortunate in how flexible Emma was and how able she was to access most environments. And post-COVID, it was the perfect storm of lockdown and puberty hitting all at the one time, and our world has become incredibly small.
I think life on a day-to-day basis for Cameron and I can be very, very challenging. His ADHD makes him, be constantly on the move. We can't, for example, go out and sit and have a family meal. We can't go a holiday abroad. Just things like that a lot of people would take for granted.
I think with Hayden, every day is different. There's no 2 days the same. He's not always one for playing ball, I think, due to the lack of sleep.
Anything changed in the last year or 2 years since you took part in the original research?
No, not really. Last summer especially, there were a few clubs that we were invited to try. But for mums like myself that work, and most of us have to, it's difficult to take your child to something during the day when you're supposed to be at work.
I suppose if you take the term ASN, it's so broad, and you go to activities that are classified as ASN activities, and the range of abilities and needs within that group of kids will be so huge. So an ASN activity in itself really means not very much, particularly to us. Emma can't access these activities at all.
I think East Ayrshire Council quite often make the mistake of making decisions with regards to ASN services and our children and young people without consulting the people who actually have the lived experience. And I think it's really important that they do learn and understand and gain knowledge from the people who actually live it every single day.
We've all seen services that fail. They fail to meet the needs of our children, they fail to meet the needs of our families. Providing a trusting relationship between families and services is vital to really hearing what they need. So not just asking, but listening and hearing and trying to think about how do we change our services to meet the needs of those individuals.
We shoehorn our children and families into services that we've got when probably we know that we could do something a bit different and something a bit better. So for me, that we're never going to do any service change or redesign or do it right or do the right thing by children if we don't work alongside children and families.
I think it's really important for everyone to listen, and I think that's probably one of our key strengths within the school, because whenever we meet families, parents are our young person's biggest educators. They know their children inside out. So I think for me, from an early stage, it's about getting those relationships and partnerships right.
I think Willowbank School itself is a huge success story. It's a school that we're a family.
When you see the growth of a young person, that's where I know that's a key strength of my team and my school. But part of that team and that school centrally is a young person, but it's also that engagement from the families.
Teachers, classroom assistants, janitorial staff, catering staff, they all work together and they all pull together as a team. They go above and beyond, and that benefits our children.
What makes going to Willowbank School good?
Swimming.
Yeah. Do you love swimming?
Yeah.
Hayden obviously comes to centre stage on a Thursday and he loves it. He's so dramatic, he loves to sing.
I'm Valerie.
And what do you do here at centre?
I volunteer. Good support would look like for me is getting out with my friends, not being isolated and not having to depend on my parents to bring me here every single week.
We work and develop services that are kind of one for all, where I think we need to be much smarter and look at addressing the need in the localities and areas that children live in.
There is no one size fits all. We're all different. I mean, it's 2024. Everyone should be included, including our children. And every day just feels like a fight for fairness.
ASN parents are, and always have had to fight for absolutely everything. We are, as a family, hugely reliant on family support, and we're very lucky that we have a large family. But my parents are in their late 70s, and realistically, they are not a long-term option for us.
We have to fight for absolutely every single thing that we're actually probably entitled to. And that fight becomes exhausting. It becomes mentally exhausting. It can become physically exhausting. And I think the likes of the council, education, health, they all need to start maybe trying to pull together.
We need to move away from siloed working and siloed decision making and do it jointly. That reduces unintended consequences of one service making a decision that has a significant impact on another service, and at the end of the day it's the children that feel this impact, it's not the services as such.
I think not having to ask for help would be amazing. So just to be recognised, to be heard, to have people that are around them that can respond to their needs. I think for our practitioners to feel empowered and strengthened and to have the skills that they require to meet those needs as early on as possible for our families would feel really positive for them as well. They all want to do it. They want to be there. They want to make that difference. So actually we need to make sure that we've given them the tools and the resources to be able to do that.
Families don't want us to do it to them, they want us to work with them, and they want to be part of the solutions. So having worked in children's services for a long time, this is the first time that I feel we're on a move, we're on a mission, and I hope we get really good outcomes for our children at the end of it.